I mentioned Marjorie Taylor Greene, so let's talk about her for a second, because she's one of the Republicans who has sworn that she will not support Steve Scalise. Is it because he's a racist? No, of course not. She loves that about him. It's because he has cancer. Here's what she had to say. I just voted for Jim Jordan for speaker on a private ballot in conference, and I will be voting for Jim Jordan on the House floor. I like Steve Scalise, and I like him so much that I want to see him defeat cancer more than sacrifice his health in the most difficult position in Congress. I lost my father to cancer, and it's a very serious battle. We need a speaker who is able to put their full efforts into defeating the communist Democrats and save America. We must stop funding foreign wars, Ukraine. We must stop the weaponized government and hold them accountable. We must secure our borders. We must protect our kids, 14 words there from Marjorie Taylor Greene. And we need a full leadership team dedicated to this fight and these unprecedented times, which is so I hate Steve Scalise with my entire heart. He's an awful individual, and I've hated to watch him ascend to the level of prominence and power he has already. I would hate to see him be Speaker of the House. The idea that she doesn't support him because he has cancer is patently absurd. He does have a rare type of cancer, but the prospects are very positive, and he will most likely make a very full recovery. Using that as an attack on him is shocking, but let's just get into it. There's a headline. I mentioned that he has blood cancer. Here it says, Steve Scalise says his cancer has dropped drastically and he's undergoing aggressive chemotherapy. As I said, it's expected that he will make a full recovery. Obviously, there's a joke to be made here about, I think she referred to them as hippo rights on multiple occasions. But obviously, Jackson, we both know that this isn't why she's not supporting him, right? I mean, she's been cozy with Jim Jordan since she got to Congress. It has nothing to do with the cancer and everything to do with the ally that she's made. She wants the ally she's made to have cancer. She cozied up to Kevin McCarthy, had an ally in him. She doesn't have that same relationship with Steve Scalise. That's it.
Yeah, and she could have just said that too. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that would have been a perfectly fine explanation. Like, well, I've been with Jim Jordan. I've supported him for a while, and I'm going to continue to stick by him because we have a vision and we think it. But, you know, it's Marjorie Taylor Greene. So rationality, you know, doesn't really exist there. And, you know, while it may be a little bit surprising that she would use that as an attack against him, she also was, you know, just like putting on a whole, you know, with the Hunter Biden pictures in Congress, like, hey, everybody, look at these, you know, I don't know if I can say it with whatever. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I don't know if it'll mess up with the advertising, but y'all know what happened. So, I mean, it's Marjorie Taylor Greene. But like you pointed out, you know, what's her name? Kevin McCarthy took him 15 times. And it's looking like they should have just stuck with him. He was their best guy. He was the least, I would say, outwardly nuts, outwardly crazy. At least he was composed. He has a, you know, reputation of being spineless, but now look at him.
Right. How is this better than having, for the Republicans, than having a spineless Speaker of the House? It obviously isn't, especially when they haven't even been able to coalesce around Steve Scalise. And before we continue, because I've got a little bit more on the Republicans who are opposing him, but I want to ask you your thoughts on whether or not there is a path back for Kevin McCarthy to the speakership. Obviously, he announced he wasn't going to run again. But there are a lot of individuals who supported him who aren't supporting Steve Scalise. Of course, we know that Scalise is currently the House Majority Leader, second highest position of the Republican caucus in the House. But him and Kevin McCarthy have a very fraught relationship. So a lot of the members of the Republican caucus who backed Kevin McCarthy, which, reminder, is a majority of them. It was only 8 who didn't. Matt Gaetz plus the 7 that he brought with him. Is there a path back for Kevin McCarthy? Because these people who won't support Steve Scalise probably would support Kevin McCarthy. I think it's interesting. I want to know what your thoughts are.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. And I think I read somewhere that that Kevin McCarthy's like, well, I may be willing to come back. I think I did see that somewhere. And it'll make sense if Scalise has too many issues. And also, too, one of the problems with Jim Jordan is, you know, his past and what went on with the wrestling team. So that's going to become more front facing because if the Speaker of the House is more front facing. So, I mean, if they just keep flipping through people and they can't get anybody, it's going to make Kevin McCarthy's case very strong. So I think there's a good chance for him to be back, especially if he wants to be back, then yeah, definitely.
I think it'll be interesting to see this play out. Of course, we do have that group of Republicans led by Matt Gaetz, who they're not going to see the political blowback from this electorally. That is, of course, we've seen Matt Gaetz's members of his own party going on the news saying that the only reason he came to Congress was for the teenage interns,
right.
Things of that nature, describing the investigations, the ethics, the ongoing, mind you, investigation into his in the ethics investigation into his potential sex crimes, including trafficking of a minor. So, but I think that was a huge reason why Matt Gaetz opposed Kevin McCarthy, was because Kevin McCarthy said that he wouldn't stop the investigation into Matt Gaetz, something he wasn't authorized to do. He didn't have the authority to do. It would have been illegal for him to do, which is obviously not an issue he's going to have with anyone else. But I think it's interesting to think about Kevin McCarthy obviously lying in wait. Of course, he wants the power back. He'd love to have it back. We'll see how that plays out.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.